As all good devlogs, let's start with a nature shot. My name is Mads and I'm building a fireworks game in Unity. In this video I want to go over the changes since last devlog video. Let's get started. In the previous version, the tools that you are using to interact with the objects in the game were switching automatically. You can see these two icons in the bottom switching depending on what you click on. That worked for the basic setup that I had in the previous version, like E for igniting stuff and left mouse button to pick up stuff with the physics tool. However, right now I can't see how that I can extend that to add more tools to the box, which I'm planning to do. So in the new version I've changed this up so you have to actually select the tool you want to use, like 1 to select the ignition tool and 2 to select the physics tool. So due to this change, and also because I had to kind of help people get starting that are testing out the game to try and avoid me sitting next to them and explaining how they control the game, I wanted to add a tutorial. So I changed the lab to be a tutorial kind of sandbox thing. So when you're opening the lab now, you are now starting in this tutorial location here. And by having this in-game tutorial, it is very connected to the idea of always having a playable demo of your game. This way I can always send off the game to somebody who want to give feedback or something like that, without me having to sit next to them and explaining or write a lot of text explaining how they do stuff. So they can just go in here, start out with this interactable tutorial and get going. So let me take you through these new 3 things. Firstly, you can see here that many objects can be picked up and thrown. You look at them and press E, and then you can drop them by pressing E again. And you can pick it up again, and then you can throw it by holding down left mouse button. The longer you hold until a certain max, the longer he will throw it. So a small click, throw it like that, and a long click, throws like that. So that's the first pickup mechanism. It works very similar to how it works in Garry's mod, except I don't think they have this variable you can change the distance of how long you want to throw, but I think it actually works pretty good here. The next step is related to the tools I was talking about in the beginning, because as you see in the bottom here, you now have 2 tools available. At least that's how it is now. We can change, maybe I change it in the future, I don't know. But right now I have these 2 tools, and this gives me the option to add more tools to the scenario, like welding things together or stuff like that if I want to. So this tutorial is about the ignite tool, which is number 1. So by hitting number 1 and selecting that tool, I can now ignite stuff, fireworks in this case. So I can go up to this fireworks and left mouse on that one. So now the player knows how to ignite fireworks. The last one is about the physics tool, because some objects are too heavy to carry by hand, so therefore we have this physics tool. So if we switch to number 2 here, we can look at an object, we can left click, and then we can carry it around. And by holding E, we can also rotate it and thereby place it however we want. So that's the 3 main tutorials here in the beginning that should make a player get off to a good start. So let's take a look on what's outside here. So out here we find a tutorial for one of the other big changes in this version, which is an inventory. One of the feedbacks I got in the previous version was that it would be nice to be able to spawn your own fireworks. So that's possible now. By hitting tab, I can open the inventory and basically just click whatever piece of fireworks I want to spawn. Another thing you might notice while watching me spawn that fireworks over there was that the models are now new. I created new models. As I complained about in the previous version, I wasn't too happy about the look of the previous models I created, so I gave it another attempt, and this is not perfect, but at least it's better than the other one. So we have 2 new rocket models here, which are pretty nice, at least with my experience in Blender. I also created new models for the batteries. So here we have the boom battery, which now have a little boom here on the side. And this one, which I'm very happy about actually, is it's called Chinese wall, but it's basically a battery. And I actually was online and trying to find a Chinese sign for wall. So I hope I hit the right one here. Just for fun, just to make it a little, nicer to look at. But I guess the models will change a lot over time as I keep getting better at modeling and doing stuff like that. But these are fine for now. Also the dragon battery here. Also a nice little beast. So that's also good. I think this one is the same as in the previous version, so that's not new. But all of the other ones, new and great looking. So the last major change I did is that I added Colitis to the particles of the batteries, or the shots from the batteries. That means that if I fire off a couple of batteries in here, it should be pretty crazy because the particles will shoot up in the ceiling and go down and then bounce around in here. So let's see if that works. Right now it's only the major particles, so you can see all the small ones here actually go through the walls. I know it kind of looks weird, but there is a performance concern when adding Colitis to these. I will try it out at some point maybe, but for now I just did it with the major things, the major particles, the major shots. So you can, so it's at least look correct at first. You see it hits the wall here and then bounces back. So that's the major changes in this version. In the next iteration of the game, my focus will be on getting the Steam page up and running. I heard from all the cool kids on YouTube that getting your Steam page up as early as possible is very important and what you should do. So even though this game is not going to be released until at least mid-2020, I'm planning to get the store page published and available during this next iteration of the game. So more about that in the coming devlogs. So that's all for this devlog. I hope to see you in the next one.